For this video, I wanted to go through a simple example as to how to calculate your earned income tax credit for the 2021 tax year. So I'm going to go through the EITC, how it's calculated, who's eligible, and we'll go through an example as well. So in front of us, I got a couple of materials. So we've got the publication 596. This covers information surrounding the earned income credit, who's eligible, how many kids do you need, how to use the tax tables. So you're going to need this in front of you to actually look at the tax table to see how much of a credit you can get. I've also got a sample tax return in front of us. We'll look through this. This is for our fake taxpayer here, Jane Doe, and her one daughter here, Child Doe. So we'll go through that as well. And then I've got a slide which covers some information on the earned income credit. And then it'll cover the fact pattern that we're going to be working with as well. So 2 slides here. So if we start at the top here, we've got the earned income tax credit, generally abbreviated as either EITC or ETC. This is a federal tax credit that's available to taxpayers that have earned income. So you need to have earned income, and it's got to be within certain ranges in order to qualify for the credit. Effectively, if you make too much money in the eyes of the IRS, then the credit's not available to you. So in most cases where we see people eligible for this credit is they're low income and they have no kids, or they're low income and they have 1 or more children. Now, what drives this credit is going to be how much earned income you have, what's your adjusted gross income, and how many qualifying children do you have, if any, right? Again, you can have no children and still get an earned income credit, but your income does have to be much lower than individuals that have children. So these are the maximum ETC amounts for the year. If you have no children, the maximum credit that you can get is $1,502. One child maximum is $3,618, and so on. Now, what's important to highlight here is these are not the amounts that everybody's gonna get depending on the children, right? These are the maximum amounts. The EITC is basically calculated on almost a dollar basis, meaning if you think about the child tax credit, if you've got a kid and they're over the age of 6, you get a check for $3,000, right? It's $3,000 per kid no matter what. The EITC doesn't work like that. It has a table that shows you very precisely how much of a credit you can get depending on where your income is. And when we look at the tables, you'll see exactly what I mean there. So the publication 596, this is very good information. And again, you're going to need this to be able to look at the tables. But they have a lot of information about who can qualify and what are the precise rules and things like that. So it's a good resource to look at. And then again, like I said, you're going to need it anyway to look at the tables. Now, what's unique for 2021 and 2020 actually is when you're calculating your earned income tax credit, you can elect to use your 2019 earned income. Okay, so there's a look back period here. So in other words, if you made more money in 2019 than you did in 2021, you can file your 2021 tax return using all the income you got during that year. But when it comes to computing the credit, you can use your 2019 earned income. Now, it has to be higher, right? So you can only use 2019 if it's higher than 2021, and you can't use 2020. So you skip over 2020 and look at 2019 only if you're electing to use this look back period. Okay? Okay, so next slide. Again, like I said, you're going to need to have the tables in front of you. We'll look at those really quickly here. And then the Form 1040, you should have it almost completed basically in its entirety, because again, what's going to drive the credit is not only how much earned income you have, but you also have to consider what your adjusted gross income is, because that could also change the amount of credit that you're going to be able to get. So we're going to need the Form 1040. You're also going to need Schedule EIC, that's a Schedule Earned Income Credit, and then an EIC worksheet is also going to be necessary to calculate how much of a credit you can take. So before we look at the example, I want to look at the table really quickly just to show you how this is going to be calculated. So this is, again, the publication 596, a couple of chapters regarding different rules and things like that. And then if we jump down to the, let's see, it's going to be in this pages down here. There we go. So if you jump down to page 33, of Pub 596 for 2021, you can get the table. So this is how the table works. What we're going to do here is you're going to look up the amount of income you have when we're going through the worksheet, and then you go over to whatever your filing status is. So if you're single, head of household, or qualifying widower, you'll use this column. And if you're married filing jointly, you use these columns here. And so what this does is it says, okay, well, look for where your income is and then move across to find how many children you have. So if you're a single filer and you have one child, you use this column here to figure out what your credit is. If it's 2 children, use that third column, 3, and so on. So note here that the credit, it's all over the place, right? The amount of credit that you can take is very specific. It depends on what range your income falls within and how many qualifying children you have on your tax return for that given year. And these income ranges, you'll note they're all in $50 increments. So what you're going to find yourself doing is scrolling down perhaps quite a bit to find exactly what range your income is. But again, this is why it's so important to have the table in front of you. Now, if you're using tax software, they'll do this automatically, right? Or at least they should. But if you're filling this out by hand, you're going to need this table in order to do the EIC worksheet. Okay, so now let's look at our fact pattern, and then we'll look at the 1040, and then also reference the tables as well so we can look up the amount of the credit. So we have our example here. We have Jane Doe. She's a single parent. She works as a teacher. Now, during 2021, her income from being a teacher was $26,725, and that was reported on her W-2. So that was the W-2 she got from her school. Now, her 2019 income was $23,000. And so the reason we're highlighting this, of course, is maybe the look-back rule, right? Now, she's not going to use the look-back rule because her 2019 income is lower than 2021. And again, you can only use it if it's higher, right? So she's not going to use the look-back period. Again, 2020 is ignored. That's not relevant here. So for 2021, this is going to be the figure that she's using for her earned income. Now, Jane also has one daughter, age 4, and she is going to be eligible to claim her daughter as a dependent, right? And that's relevant because it's relevant for the earned income credit as well, but also the child tax credit. Now, the child tax credit, I got a separate video on that. I'll put that link below. But for this video, again, we're just focusing on the earned income tax credit. Now, Jane's tax return, when we take a look at it, we'll see that her AGI is $26,725. She gets a standard deduction of $18,800, and that's because she's filing as head of household. And so her taxable income is going to be $7,925. Okay. Now, let's have a look at the tax return, and then we'll take a look at the earned income credit worksheet and then go over the tables. So if we look at Jane's tax return here, pretty straightforward return, 2021 tax year. She's filing as HOH filing status. And then we've got her daughter listed here. Eligibility for the child tax credit is checked off. Very important to highlight is you need to have your children's Social Security number. If you had a newborn in the year and the Social Security number is pending, do not file yet. Please do not file. If you file and you put applied for, or you leave it blank, the IRS is going to reject the return, and it's going to take it longer for you to get your refund. What you need to do in that case is file an extension for your tax return. So, yeah, you're not going to be able to file perhaps by April 18th, but you're going to give yourself another 6 months to be able to give the SSA some time to get that Social Security number processed and out to you. Only file this return with the child tax credits or the earned income tax credits if you have a valid Social Security number. Okay, so Jane's return, again, pretty straightforward. She has no investment income or other income, just her wages. There's her standard deduction, and her taxable income, again, is $79.25. And then that's the amount of tax that's being calculated using the tax tables. So now let's look at the earned income credit schedule, and we'll start here. So this should be completed and attached to your tax return. The worksheet doesn't have to be. We'll look at that next. But the EIC here should be completed if you have a qualifying child. In this case, we do, right? So it's child's name, Social Security number, and date of birth. And then the child's relationship to us, it's our daughter, and the number of months lived with the child during the year is 12. The reason why they're asking that is because in order to claim your child as a dependent, you generally have to be the custodial parent. So it means the kid has to live with you the majority of the year. If you have split parenting arrangements, or if you are going to claim your child as a dependent but you're not the custodial parent, you have to get the custodial parent to waive the exemption. That's also filed on a different form. It's a dependency exemption waiver. You need that to be able to claim your child as a dependent, even if you provide all the support, right? The IRS and the tax rules give favor to the parent that actually has custody of the child on the majority of the year. Okay, so once that's completed, you move on to the earned income credit worksheet. So this is simply a worksheet. It's also found in publication 596. This is filled out by you to calculate what credit you have, but it's not filed with the return. So you keep this for your records. You don't have to file this with the IRS, but you need to keep it, and you should use it to be able to calculate what your credit is. So if we're starting at the top here, the first line they're asking us is, what is our income on line 1 at 1040, right? So that's our wages. So $26,725, that's because, again, that's our earned income. That is Jane's wages for the year. Now, they're also asking line 4 for self-employed income, right? So if you have a Schedule C because you're a self-employed individual, that is earned income to you. You can use that for purposes of this computation. Now, Jane, because she works full-time as a teacher, she's not self-employed, nor does she have like a side gig where she's earning extra money. So that's why line 4 for us is blank, right? She doesn't have a Schedule C. Now, once that total is computed, we start to reference the EIC worksheets. So $26,725 is our earned income per this worksheet. So if we go back to publication 596, now we're going to scroll down until we find our income within $26,725. So remember, it's all in $50 increments. So if we go down here, let's see, so $26,700, $26,750. So that's our range, $26,725. And then we move left to right. Here are the columns with the various numbers of children. So first column is if you have no children. So in this case, if Jane didn't have any children, she wouldn't get a credit given her income level, okay? But she does have one child, right? So that's the next column over. One child within this range is $2,466. So that's the amount of the earned income credit that Jane can take on her tax return. So we take that number, 2466, and we enter it there on line 6, okay? So now, moving on. The rest of this worksheet is designed to calculate the credit amount using your AGI. And the reason for that is because firstly, if your AGI is too high, you can't take a credit at all. But if your AGI is lower than your earned income, they're going to give you the lesser amount, right? And so how would that happen? Well, you could have earned income at $26,725, but let's say Jane had capital losses. Let's say she sold some Bitcoin at a loss for $2,000, so she got a $2,000 deduction, which lowered her AGI from $26,725 to $24,725. Well, you're going to get an earned income credit on the lower amount, the $24,000. So in this case, her AGI is the same, right? So earned income is $26,725. AGI is $26,725, so it's the same number. But like I said, if, for example, if we were looking at page 1 here, and I look on Jane's return, and we've got a Schedule D here, capital gain or loss, and it's a minus $1,000 or $2,000. Remember, every taxpayer can deduct up to $3,000 in losses. So if there was a loss there, or if she had maybe a net operating loss from a business operation, or a loss from Schedule C, right? So if you have losses from Schedule C, that could lower the amount too. So that's why the worksheet is asking you to compute it using two numbers. But in this case, again, it's the same balance. So for us, it's just going to be the same number. The earned income credit is going to be $2,466. Now, once we have that number is then reported on page 2 of Form 1040. So there's line 27A, $2,466. Okay. And then you'll also note here that Jane did get the child tax credit, so $3,600 there on Schedule 8812. Again, I'm not going to go over that in this video. That's a separate one, which I'll have a link below. But this is a common kind of fact pattern for a lot of parents in the U.S. is they'll get the earned income credit if they're on the lower income side, and then they'll also get the refundable child tax credit for their children. So she's got the $3,600 for her one child who's age 4, and then the $2,466 is the earned income credit piece. So, you know, all things said and done, she's got $793 in total tax. That's what she owed. She's getting these 2 credits, and then she's also getting the $3,000 in withholding applied. So Jane gets a nice little refund check for 2021 taxes. Okay, so that covers it for this video. I hope that was helpful. If you have any questions, please leave me a comment below, and I look forward to seeing you again on the next video. Thank you.